Hi guys, it's Ed. Welcome back to E46 Racer. Today I'm going to be showing you how to fit, you can see it, one of these AeroCatches into the E46. Hi guys, well, AeroCatches aren't just there to look good, they're there to hold the bonnet shut and fulfill the motorsport requirements to be able to open the bonnet from the outside for the marshals should anything go awry there. So that's the reason why I fitted these. You've got to fit the catches and then remove the existing locks that are there. That's the project for today. Hope this little video helps any installation that you might have. Can be done DIY wise, just need to be careful. You need the right tools. Don't try it with tin snips and a file. You'll just get yourself in all sorts of a pickle and it'll take you absolutely forever. So I would recommend a little electric file. It'll save your ass big time. You've got quite a bit of metal to grind off. There's 3 layers at the front of these catches where I'll show you where we're going to mount it. Something to measure and square off. Perhaps a little tiny file for fine-tuning the holes, a little grinder with a cutting disc on it, and a decent drill with a couple of these bits. You can be done with standard bits, but I'll find these are great for starting it off, widening the hole, and you'll see why in a minute. So when you get your AeroCatch, they see they come in a nice little package. I've cut this one up, but you'll see on the back there's a template. Don't lose it, because you're going to have to trace around the area that you're going to have to cut out. AeroCatch itself comes in 2 pieces. There it is, and there's the backing plate. It's only designed to go through a single layer, and we'll see at the front of the E46 that it's not just as easy as that. Certainly the area that I've chosen, and here you've got the closing pin. It's got to be cut down significantly, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so I've already installed it on this side, nicely in line with the front wing, as you can see, and the bonnet line. I've seen all sorts of angles, and to be honest, I've even seen them across 90 degrees like that. For me, that just sets it off nicely. Put it back in and let you see the finished result. So what I'll attempt to do is show you exactly, that's the end game on one side, and I'm going to install the other side now. So there it is. Sometimes a little bit of light pressure to relieve it. It'll loosen up in time. There it is, released. So besides looking pretty cool, it's a requirement for motorsports to be able to access the engine bay. So what we have to essentially do is fit some catches of some form and then remove the original locks at the top. So this will go, the little safety lever will go, as will the other one on the other side, and all we have in the end is the AeroCatches themselves. You can see there's a triple layer in here, and I've had to file away that. There's a double one at the front, and it's all nicely set in. Here's the little striker, and we'll get to dimensions in a minute as to where we've got to do. Some people have fitted them up on this point of the vehicle. To me it just looks a bit stupid. So if you want to replicate what I've actually done, then feel free. There's 10 ways to skin a cat. This is just one of them, and when I was looking on the Tinterweb to find a definitive way to fit these things, there's any multitude. Not all of them are right, not all of them are pretty, but this is the way I'm doing it, and I'm happy with the results, I have to say. So I decided to choose the location using a set square from the wing. You'll see why later. 175 mils to the center, just so that I can make them even. And if I go over here, again 175 to center. So what I've done is I've taken my little set square, I've marked 175, and I've just set it in. There we go. Set it in square. Drilled a 10mm hole and popped in the little fixing. So I know from the other side that it's pretty much fully down, and what I've done is I've put an extra locking nut in under there, because that's the only thing now will be holding the bonnet closed. Top tip, stick a little dab of toothpaste on there, close the bonnet down, and you'll find, look very closely, there's the tiniest little mark where the toothpaste was inside, and that's the bit we're going to have to drill up through. So we take our trusty drill. You'll probably find that the final shut will just be a couple of millimeters forward of that, the way the hinge line works and all the rest of it. So all I'm going to do is take a couple of mil, drill straight the way through, and then see where we're at. Of course, in the meantime, get your trusty paint splattered rag out, stop all these nasty metal filings from getting anywhere near the engine. Don't know if you can see it there. We've got the tiniest of holes, just as appeared up through the bonnet. So what I want to do again is, I know it's about 175 from the edge. So if I set my little T-square in there, and you'll find, there you go, it's just a confirmation that you've actually got it in the right place. You want to have a measurement on down the bonnet. There's about 185, and then comparing it with the other side, it's about 185, and in from the center to the bolt, if you can see that, it's 175 as well. So I really want to even up the cut on both sides, and yeah, I'm happy with that. So now that I've got this one, and here's more scary bits. Drilling it. So I've just popped something in to hold the bonnet open, and I'm going to drill through. So it doesn't really matter what size the hole is here, but you see it's gone through 3 layers of metal in the process. So what I would like to see is when I clear it away, I'll take the little bonnet with a little bottle out and close it down. And if I've done this right, there you go. We can just, oh, you can see it there. We can just see the striker plate with the little crows from the other one there. So we're in the right spot. And ultimately, this is where it's supposed to be. And we can go from there. So you can see with the template in place how much material actually needs to be moved. But there's little crosshairs here. So the idea is to open this hole out enough so that I can match the crosshairs. Then I'll draw a line 175 from the edge so that I can line the template up with the edge of the bonnet. It just so happens to line up with the inside edge of this little hump in the bonnet as well. So that's it. Widen it out and we'll go from there. So what I've done now is I've measured 175 mils in up here, 175 in there, and if you see, you can just see the striker there and it's all nicely lined up. Then when you get your template, you'll see that you can line the crosshairs all up, and that is the piece of metal that you have to remove right the way down. So I'm just going to drill a couple of holes and then widen it out with the file. So what I've done now is I have used the template, and you can see the little green outline. It matches the backing plate perfectly. Make sure you do it that way and not that way, because there's too much metal to cut out on this section. Down here you'll be forever trying to remove 2 and 3 layers, so this seems to be the best way around. So I've just drilled a couple of holes near to the edge just to basically assist with getting some of this metal out. Next I'm going to take a cutting disc and just help a little bit more. So taking the cutting disc to it, you can see I haven't taken it right to the edge, just enough to assist. So what you'll eventually get is hopefully a reasonably clean hole, just so that that fits in snugly. Holes are kind of lined up. But you'll see the main issue on this is underneath. You need to take out enough of the spare material around here in order to fit the retaining little ring. So of course this little retaining ring is quite deep. It'll sit in there. The other one will bolt to it. There it is. And everything will be grand, as they say. So once you've got the opening the way you want it, there's a lot of exposed metal in there. So the final piece will be to what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of a touch-up pen, go around all the edges, make sure they're sealed so they don't rust, and then bolt it all up, and then you can stand back and admire your work. Remember, measure 10 times and cut once. It's not as daunting as you might think. The whole idea is just to get down to a single layer of tin just for mounting it all. So here we have the AeroCatches installed. The whole idea of the installation was to get them roughly lined up with the line of the bonnet itself. Makes it prettier. I've seen all sorts of jaunty angles on these things, and they just look stupid. Where they are adds to kind of the lines and the meanness of the car. It kind of suits it just above the lights, bit of a raised eyebrow if anything else. So that's it. They're in to meet the motorsport requirements to access the engine bay without the locks. So once you've installed yours, don't forget to actually remove the lock-in mechanism itself. There it is, nice and easy, no play in the bonnet. And there's the lock-in pins. Whole idea was to get it close to this adjustment. That's where you would adjust the closure and the height of the bonnet itself. Here we've just removed the original lock-in mechanisms. They go in there. Here I've left the original points in, simply because there was just no shift in them. I wasn't going to get these things removed at all. In fact, I broke one of the little star keys trying to get them out. I have though removed, that's the additional lock that you reach through the grille, so that's been removed as well. And once you get them adjusted right, it should just be a simple matter of closing them off, insert, and there we go, locking them up. So job well done. Don't underestimate the amount of work that's actually required for this. By the time you nibble a little bit away and away, took me pretty much all afternoon, good 4 hours of installation, but 2 hours each side. But if you do it slowly and you do it right. One other thing you might see, this car's all scratched to hell. It was written off due to keying on every panel. So the only thing I didn't do, which I would recommend anyone do, is to actually put loads of masking tape or duct tape or anything over the sections to be cut and drilled. This is a pure race car, so I wasn't really that bothered by any additional scratches on this. We're probably going to do something in a respray department down the line, so I'm not particularly worried about that. So if you're doing it to your road car, absolutely put loads of masking tape on. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a go. Cheers. Bye bye.